racial justice. And for starters, we just want to recognize the fact that Covino is in here and some of the administrators that were actually present at the public hearings. We also want to address the fact that they ran out before anyone else had left the buildings of those hearings. So it's just interesting that they failed to show up. So something that I personally want to bring up is the fact that Covino was saying that the enrollment growth was unprecedented when it was in fact his fault that it was unprecedented. And so we as students don't think that students and their access to higher education should come at the expense of, because of the failures, mistakes, and negligence of the president and the administration. Another thing to bring up is we all seem to be on the same page that none of us want impaction. Doesn't seem to be any good reasons as to why we should have it, and yet administration continuously tells us that they cannot give us an answer, or that there's more to consider, there's more voices that need to be heard. Well, in regards to that, we have a petition here that was signed by students of Cal State LA as well as community members. This has over 1,000 signatures, and we actually want to present this to the Senate, to the President. We will be presenting this to the Chancellor and the President, and we'll make sure that supposedly the other voices that they haven't heard from are heard. I have some other comrades here who would like to share more.
Sure, absolutely. So, like Antoinette said, like various times I've given facts, but I want to address them here today for any folks that are, neutral, which I don't know how you can be neutral with students and education, quality education. So this all really is just trying to make it an elite university, because if you look back at it, Lynn Mahoney and Tom Enders were at Long Beach when Long Beach declared a paction, and now they're here doing the same thing. And on top of that, they're on the Graduation Initiative Board, Committee, whatever you want to call it, of Graduation Initiative 2025. And in a CSU article that I found, it actually states how much funding this wonderful new Governor Newsom gave us, right? He gave us $300 million to fund the Graduation Initiative 2025, but only $15 million to support basic needs. So, that basic needs campaign that we have, that money that was given to us, that little amount of money compared to how much money we get to push students out, it's very, very little. And so as the Academic Senate, I ask that you advocate for us as students. We, like someone mentioned, I'm sorry, what's your name? Annalise mentioned that we don't get paid for this. We put time and energy to do the job of administrators that's supposed to be doing their job, that are supposed to be representing us and supposed to be standing for the students. So if he can't do it, if Lynn Mahoney, Tom Enders, and administration can't do it, then let our Academic Senate meeting please advocate for us. And I would ask that people please give your undivided attention and not fall asleep, because this is, you have us here, like taking time out of class. My professor was just here watching me do this. And so my main thing is I also want to bring up EOP special admits. I work for admissions and recruitment, so I see how they're already using that eligibility index, and it's very unfair. These administrators aren't hugging the kids that I have to hug, and they're crying on my shoulder because they don't have access to Cal State LA because they were like, this is the closest school to me, this is the only one I applied to. So to be that person, it's hard, and to lie to my community, I'm not going to do that. And so just to let you know, they're already using it right now and being very exclusive with that and being very shady. And so if we're talking about transparency, we mean that also is taking accountability for past mistakes. And that also means back when Covino over-enrolled as well. And so that's pretty much all I ask is that. And also what Antoinette said, to get Adam Cash fired, because this is a predominantly people of color school and low-income working-class students. And it's very triggering. My brother was killed by gun violence and state violence. That is not okay to see a cop in front of, that's not cool, especially if I'm in solidarity with my black, friends and, my own community. That's not cool. I heard ICE was on campus yesterday. What the hell is that? And I'm sorry, but if you're gonna say that you're number one in upward mobility, then do what you gotta do to take care of those kids and those students that got you there in the first place. So I'm gonna let my friends talk today. I'm tired. Thank you.
All right, How's it going, everybody? My name is Renato Corleta. So I just want to reiterate what a lot of the colleagues, well, my friends, students here at CSULA, several of the staff and faculty, really beautiful and considerate people, knowing that they've come from previous communities like us. However, they decided to come back and teach and give back to their community, you know, and that's really admirable. And I just kind of want to, again, like I said, I just want to go back towards the whole argument that we have towards this whole impassion. First generation students, the working class, and marginalized folks around this community, it's no surprise to us. This is just another one of the prejudices held upon us. We come from backgrounds from economic disparity. We come from homelessness, displacement, and several other factors that shape us and cultivate us into the persons we are today. That, in fact, in which help us and put us here in this community, in this college in the first place. And I just want to say that, as I mentioned before, it's no surprise that this whole impassion thing is happening. It's just another way in which it's just going to exclude people of color and several other folk from accessing or getting access to higher education. But I believe in my community. I feel like the power of the people uniting together is unstoppable. And I feel like that's what we're doing here today as students and as the staff and faculty today. The power between the unity of people is unbreakable, and we're just here to let you know that we're going to be resilient and we're just going to let this impassion thing not happen. Thank you.
Who should I present this to?
Could you say what the petition says?
Sure. So this was actually a flyer on the cover